Hi, welcome to PT Dance Videos. Today I just want to have a quick chat to you about what makes a good training partner. Now what happens is, a training partner trains with you all the time, so their inspiration and motivation can pass on to you, or their negativity can destroy you. You don't want to have a training partner that's going to be busy talking the whole time about things that have got nothing to do with training. You're there on a mission and your training partner is there to support that mission. So basically, when you go into your training session, firstly, you'll want your training partner making sure that you're going to be there at that training session on time, and make sure that they're going to be pushing you to make sure that you never even miss a training session. So they're there to support you before your workout even begins. Don't forget about that. Also, background information, make sure that they're even motivating you to train right, eat healthy. You don't want them to be trying to get you to go out on the weekend and get smashed every single weekend, or going out to restaurants where there's just too much oily and fatty foods. You want to try and motivate each other inside the gym and outside the gym as well. Before you get into your workouts, you want to make sure that you and your training partner both have good communication with one another, so you both know exactly what you're going to be doing in your workout. You don't want one person leading the way and the other person being a little bit lost. So you both need to know exactly what's going on in that training session, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, and make sure that the communication between the two of you are right on the mark. Now, when you're actually training, you don't want your training partner just to be standing around watching you. They have to be looking at your posture, your range of motion, stability, making sure that the weight load that you've selected is right. So they're pretty much your trainer as well. So when I'm talking about your posture, you want your training partner making sure that your chest is up, scapula is retracted. When you're squatting, weight is transferred to the rear of your foot. You want your trainer well educated in these things so they know what to look for. You want to make sure that your training partner is watching your stability, therefore making sure that you're doing all you can to prevent injury. Stability, posture, range of motion, so make sure you're going through a full range of motion and you're not cheating, doing short reps. And make sure that your weight load is correct. So you don't want your trainer going, come on bro, go heavy, and picking a weight that's too heavy for you. So you want your training partner to be making sure that they're taking care of you other than pushing you too much. So there's a limit between how far you can push one another. So your goal is to break down as much muscle tissue as possible. So make sure you and your training partner have an understanding upon what your goals are for the workout. So you don't want to go heavy for strength training, for example. You may want to just focus on time under tension and make sure that you're doing all your hypertrophy work. So your training partners needs to know those sort of things. Make sure that when they're spotting you, your training partner isn't there doing all your work for you. A part of a training partner's mentality is to torture your trainer, your client, or your friend as much as possible. So you really want to be making sure that you're pushing as hard as you possibly can, getting your training partner to do as much work as they possibly can. When it comes to spotting, if you're just going to do a basic set, then the spotter's goal is to just make sure that the weight is moving. You don't want to think it starts to struggle and then help your friend, your training partner. What you want to do is wait until the weight is about to get stuck and is about to stop, and then just jump in and help move the weight enough just to get the rep range done. That's how you get your training partner to be pushing as hard as they possibly can. And now going beyond that, if you're doing negatives, make sure that your spotter or your training partner has got good technique. So for example, if the bar is across here, you don't want to be spotting using one hand, because you might accidentally pull the bar out to one side. So you want to make sure that the spotter is completely symmetrical and they're keeping you well balanced. Again, to prevent injury is really, really important. If you're going to be doing a drop set, make sure that your training partner is pushing you as hard as they can on each set, and not just changing the weight for you as you're going along. After your training session is over, again, this is where people start getting lazy. Make sure you do your abs. Make sure that you stretching and things of that nature. So therefore, again, it's really important that your training partner has got good time management skills, that they're not in a rush after the training session to get home or to get to work. Make sure that your time management is good, so that when it comes to the end of the session, if one of you get lazy, no, we are not going to miss abs today, come on, let's do it. And then you're both motivating and pushing one another to make sure abs is done, make sure your stretches get done after each workout, or make sure that your cardio is done after each workout, depending on what you're doing for the day. So make sure that your training partner has got good time management skills is absolutely vital, so you can manage your whole workout before, during, and your post-exercise routine. Make sure that your nutrients and your supplementation is on the mark. So therefore, you have to have the right mentality. I mean, I promote supplements, but I don't push supplements, because I think it's up to the individual client whether they need it or not, or whether it's something that they believe in or not. My goal is to influence people, but not necessarily tell them what's right or what's wrong. My job is to give people information and give them an opportunity to make up their own minds. And so make sure that your mentality is right between you and your training partner as well, plays a large role. So make sure that, in a nutshell, your training partner is there to motivate you, push you, make sure you don't miss sessions. Your training partner's got to make sure that they push you as hard as they possibly can. Technique is right. Make sure that your training partner is well educated. So make sure that your training partner understands posture, range of motion, stability, weight load, things of that nature. Just make sure that your time management is right, so your training partner knows and pushes you to make sure you don't miss your abs, don't miss your stretching, don't miss your cardio after your workout. Make sure that your spotting technique is really, really good. And different people like to be spotted in different ways. So when you do get spotted, make sure that you communicate with your training partner and you tell your training partner how you want to be spotted. After 2-3 sessions, it all comes second nature. But if you've got a new training partner, make sure that you keep up your communication with them as much as you possibly can, and make sure that you just motivate each other to never ever miss a training session and stay right on the mark to achieve your long-term goals.